Welcome to the magical world of Jack's bedtime adventures. Jack is an 8-year-old boy with a curious heart and a backpack full of kindness. Every evening, just before bed, something amazing happens. A gentle call from the forest, a shimmer of light in the distance, or a whisper on the wind leads Jack into a world filled with talking creatures, forgotten magic, and friendships that sparkle like stars. Each story brings a new magical friend, a gentle lesson, and just the right touch of wonder to drift off to sleep. Let's begin. The sky was turning orange and pink as the sun dipped low over the ocean. Jack stood barefoot at the edge of the beach, his toes buried in the still warm sand. The last families had packed up and gone home. The air smelled like salt and sea breeze, and the only sound was the gentle hush of the waves rolling in. Jack loved the beach at this time. Quiet, glowing, full of secrets. He had a red plastic shovel in one hand and a bucket in the other. This was his favorite time to build sandcastles, when the world was settling down and the stars were just beginning to blink awake. He found the perfect spot near a tide pool and began to dig, patting down walls and carving out towers. The sun's last light made the sand shimmer like gold. That's when the ground beneath him rumbled. Jack dropped his shovel and took a step back as a giant mound of sand sat up, shook off a flock of startled gulls, and blinked. A giant made of sand. Jack stared, wide-eyed. The giant blinked back, then gave a shy smile. Evening. "Hi," Jack said slowly. "You're big." The giant chuckled, and tiny shells fell from his beard. "I'm called Mallow," he said. "I sleep all day beneath the beach, but something woke me, something tickly." Jack looked down at the sandcastle he'd been building, right on top of Mallow's shoulder. "Oops," Jack said. "I didn't know you were there." "No one ever does," said Mallow with a shrug. "But I like your castle. It reminds me of one I used to build a long time ago." "You built castles?" Jack asked. Mallow nodded slowly. "All the time, but the ocean always took them back. I stopped after a while. What's the point, I thought, if they're just going to be washed away?" Jack looked at his own half-finished castle. "The tide's coming soon." "It always does," Mallow said softly. "Takes everything." Jack thought for a moment. Maybe it's not about how long they last. Maybe it's about building them together. Mallow tilted his head. "You'd build with me?" Jack smiled. "If you help with the towers." Mallow's eyes lit up like two sandy moons. "Deal." Together, they worked in the fading light. Mallow scooped huge handfuls of sand, and Jack shaped them into tall towers, shell bridges, and winding staircases. They dug a moat so deep that even the stars reflected in it. Mallow hummed while they worked, a low tune that sounded like rolling waves and moonlit tides. As the stars came out and the moon rose higher, Jack sat back and admired their masterpiece. "It's the best one I've ever made." "It's the best one I've made," Mallow added, brushing sand off his knees. But the tide was already creeping closer. Mallow's smile faded. "It'll be gone soon." Jack looked up at him. "But we made it. That makes it real." Mallow looked down at the little boy beside him and nodded. "You're right." Then he reached into the sand and pulled out a small, smooth stone shaped like a heart. "Take this. It doesn't wash away. Keep it, so you remember this night." Jack took the stone gently. "Thanks, but I want to give you something too." He picked a spiral shell from the castle gate and pressed it into Mallow's palm. If I build again, I'll leave this shape in the sand. You'll know it's me." Mallow beamed. "I'll be watching." The waves reached the base of the castle. The moat filled. One tower crumbled. "It's time," Mallow said. He gave Jack a sandy, careful hug and then lay back, letting the sand roll over him again, until all that remained was a soft hill and a faint smile traced in the grains. Jack stood for a moment, watching the sea tug gently at their castle. Then he turned and walked back up the beach, moonlight guiding his steps, heart full of quiet joy. Later, as he curled up under his blanket, the heart-shaped stone lay on his nightstand. He held it once more, closed his eyes, and smiled. Tomorrow, the tide would come again, but tonight, he'd remember the sandcastle, the shell, and a gentle giant named Mallow.